Everyone, it's Naomi. Welcome back to my channel where you'll find videos on tarot pick-a-card readings, personal development, spirituality, and manifestation. If you enjoy videos like this, please give this video a big thumbs up, click the notification bell, and subscribe if you haven't already. Today's Timeless Tarot pick-a-card reading is all about what is next in your career and your finances. So in this reading, we're going to dive all into what you're currently manifesting in your work, in your job department, as well as your financial resources. So this pick-a-card tarot and oracle card reading is timeless, which means that the messages in this reading aren't restricted to any time period, and they're meant for you to hear whenever it is that you come across this video. So if you are new to pick-a-card readings, here's how it works. You are going to pick the pile that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So here we have pile 1 with the Citrine crystal. And here we have pile 2 with the Amethyst crystal. And then here we have pile 3 with the orange Calcite crystal. So if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video, and then when you are ready, please go ahead and go to the description of this video or the pinned comment below and find the timestamp that is related to your crystal or your pile, and then you can skip ahead to your reading all about what's next in your career and finances. What are you manifesting? Hi pile 1, if you chose the Citrine crystal, then you are in the right spot, and let's dive right into your reading. So the first card that we have here is the 5 of Pentacles. So with the 5 of Pentacles here, I'm seeing that there may have been some sort of loss or disappointment or worry that you've been through in terms of finances and material security. I do feel like you've kind of been through some sort of hardship or like a period where maybe it was tough for you in like the money department. I'm not sure if this happened like physically, mentally, emotionally, but no matter which way, I just want to affirm you right now and just send you a ton of love and supportive energy right now, because that's definitely not anything that's easy to go through. And, you know, I do feel like you might have been through a period of suffering, and maybe, you know, even maybe some of you were even unsure of how you'd make it to the next month, and maybe even the next day for some. You know, maybe some of you like lost your job, or maybe you left your job, and you know, maybe this was a job that provided you with your financial means to survive. Maybe some of you have struggled with like physical or mental health. You know, maybe you have been struggling with it and it's left you unable to work in the way that you used to. I do feel like maybe some of you are part of like the Great Resignation and maybe you decided that it was time for you to work in a job that like didn't completely deplete your energy and your life force. And for some of you, I do feel like maybe you decided to take a step back from a traditional job. Maybe you decided to be a stay-at-home parent. Maybe you wanted to go ahead and raise your kids and focus your energy and attention on that as your primary role at this time and place. So maybe some of you have also worked tirelessly for a long time. Maybe some of you have been working towards your degree or your education or a trade skill, and now you're wondering if you made the right choice, or maybe if you invested your money into something that you might not get your return back on, right? And I just want to let you know right now that all of your worries are valid, and they totally they make sense when our brain is telling us all the reasons why we should be worrying. However, I feel, right, I'm not going to be like, but don't worry. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I just want to let you know that there is a little secret, and it's that you will always get a return on your investment based on it just being a life experience for you. Something that was a stepping stone on the path to you know, your greatness on the bigger journey for you, right? So it's almost like when I see the 5 of Pentacles, I think of like zooming out on the timeline and being like, this was just one of the many like little stepping stones that was on my path, another lesson learned on the journey ahead, you know? But I do feel like, yeah, everything was just a stepping stone to bring you to where you are now and where you're meant to head in the future. So when I see this card, I think about like the true value of difficult experiences, and that's actually how much clarity we can gain in the end of it. And you know, some of you may be going through some sort of like really big spiritual awakening right now. And maybe this is something that you're doing behind closed doors, like it's really private to you. Whatever, like due to the fact that like whatever you've been through or whatever you struggled with, I feel like you might end up, you know, like using this as a lesson to start prioritizing and paring down like what's really important for you, and necessary in terms for your lifestyle and your finances. So I'll just give you a really quick story time so that like, I'm just going to give you some context so that this story makes a little bit more sense. But nearly 5 years ago, I did leave a pretty well-esteemed and like well-paid career to become a stay-at-home mom to my firstborn child. And so I do feel like during that time, my lifestyle had like super drastically changed because my finances had drastically changed. And this was honestly one of the sparks to one of my most profound spiritual awakenings and up-leveling and what my mind was conscious of. I think that through it all, I learned that I could still have a fun, meaningful, and wonderful life by doing the simple things that I like doing. So maybe I didn't have a ton of cash in the bank, but I could still go hiking, and I still had that freedom to go to the beach and like to tend to my home and to spend time with my children, you know, and my husband and my family and my friends. Those, to me, I started to see those as valuable things that I could never put a price tag on, and it made me feel so rich to be able to experience those types of experiences, right? So I really started to like shift my mind and look at life and life's experiences and the value that everything brings beyond just cold hard cash money, right? So I really truly learned the value of like relationships that I had in my life, meaningful connections, and how much that brought me inner happiness and not how much money I had, right? And now, like, I do feel extremely fortunate because I have created a completely different financial scenario for myself and my family, but I do still carry the lesson, right? I do still carry that Five of Pentacles moment that I had for my family and I still carry that lesson and that wisdom that money isn't everything and that you cannot buy all of your happiness and fulfillment. And this really taught me that like money is just energy and it just creates more opportunities, right? So when I see this card, I also think of it as the don't be afraid to ask for help, right? There's a key here. You can actually get out and go ask for help. But right now, you might be feeling it, you might be in your feels, and you know, allow yourself to do that. But when you're ready to go out of the door, don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? Okay, so the next card that we have here is the Nine of Wands. So with the Nine of Wands here, you know, I do feel like this is really excellent news. So you are going to be reaching some sort of completion or fulfillment of something that you desire. When I see this card, I think of it as like facing the trials and the tribulations of life and gaining like wisdom and strength and like coming out on top. So what's next in your career and your finances is an increase of strength and resilience within you, right? She's standing tall here. And I'm sorry, pile one, sorry for the barking dogs. I live on a property with like more dogs than I'm gonna like let you know that we have, because it sometimes is like mind-blowing to me as well. But yeah, basically you are going to be reaching some sort of like big level of accomplishment next. Like I feel like you've been through the battle and like you're still here, you're still standing strong. You've come out with like some solid boundaries too, right? It's like all that like BS that you had to go through, you use that to go ahead and build the boundaries that you need to like stand in your full power now, right? On your peaceful, calm, serene side of the beach, right? And you found that you are your own guiding light here, right? And that everything that you've been through is just something that was meant to be learned for you, right? And for your ultimate greatness. So I do feel like you're going to have a whole lot of tenacity building up within you and your career in the finance department. Everything that you've been through, everything that you've learned, it's really allowed you to prove to yourself, right, that you indeed do command rewards, right, and respect. You do command some support, right, in the physical and spiritual realms. When I see the Nine of Wands, I think of it as like the comeback card after going through a big setback. So this is like the closing of an old chapter, and I feel like, oh my gosh, remember that song? It's like coming through like clear audience right now. So it's called Broken by Citrine, and I like the version with Amy Lee, right? And she sings that part, and it's like, she says, the worst is over now and we can breathe again. Like, that line came through strong. So check that song out. It's called Broken by Citrine and Amy Lee. And in that line, Amy Lee says, the worst is over now and we can breathe again. That's what I think of when I see this card. You know, I do feel like the worst is over now for you. Success, right? The worst is over for you. Success is on the horizon. And you're going to find a lot more stability in the career and finance department. So yeah, it's very exciting. Okay. And then here we have the Ten of Wands. So another thing that's next in your career is this new level of responsibility, right? It seems like this person is like going on this journey alone, and they're carrying a lot, right? And they're carrying the load on their own. And I do feel like, of course, this is the ending, right? You got the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Wands. So it's like from one step to the next. I feel like you're ending an old cycle and you're starting a new one. And this often comes with like new commitments, new responsibilities. And if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by like the task ahead, the journey ahead, and you're wondering if the load is going to be too much for you to bear, just remember that you literally do have the strength to like carry any sort of new role, you know, or roles placed on you. And this is your reminder to just not, you know, don't push too hard, right? Like, don't take on too much. Don't take on more than you think that you can handle, and you're allowed to say no, and you don't have to overextend yourself. This is also a reminder to set boundaries with yourself and others in your life, so that you can really go ahead and maintain those energetic boundaries and not get drained, because this is really important for like you empaths and you highly sensitive people out there, introverts too. But ask yourself, what responsibilities am I carrying that actually aren't mine to carry? So in more or less words, how can you lessen your load a bit? Okay. And so the next thing that I'm seeing in your career and finance that's coming next is this card that says the Great Nurturer. So it says Moon. So the affirmation here is, I give and receive nourishment. And some characteristics to describe this next phase in your career and your finances are motherly, nurturing, devoted, loving, wise, empathetic, compassionate, abundant, generous, receptive, emotional, inclusive, supportive, and stable. So when I see this card, you know, I'm thinking that this might be a confirmation for those of you who are stay-at-home parents, or maybe even some of you are work-from-home parents, or that's something that you've experienced in, you know, not too long ago. But I do feel like some of you might be stepping into like the role of being a teacher or a counselor, maybe a therapist or a spiritual healer or a caregiver of some sense. I do feel like this period of your life, I do feel like you're going to be focused more on making a difference for people and really deepening yourself into your life's purpose. So I truly believe I just want to make a disclaimer here. I believe that we can have more than one purpose, right? Because I feel like there's this whole like life purpose trap that gets us caught up in like, oh my gosh, what's my purpose? Well, like, what if I'm not fulfilling it? Oh my gosh. And like, for those of you who already struggle with like heightened stress and anxiety, that's not going to help. The truth is, right, and we can all have different truths, but my truth and my belief is that we can have multiple purposes and as many purposes as we're drawn to in this lifetime, and that we can have different purposes in different life phases, right? Like kind of like the moon in her phases. So yes, confirmed. And also a quick note, look up what your moon sign is in astrology. And you can, you know, your sun, moon, and rising, your big three. Look up what your moon sign is and maybe the current transits that are happening. Okay, so we have the discovering truth. You stand in the light of the truth. So another thing that I feel like that's coming up in your career and finances is that you're going to be following your own path in some way. So I do always like think of this card as like the you know that song by Casey Musgraves, it's like Follow Your Arrow. It's like that song, right? Like follow your own path. These dudes, they're going somewhere else, and maybe, you know, where they're going, it clearly leads to somewhere, but you are gonna, you know, forge your own way, forge your own path. And for some of you, I do feel like there might have been some external influences or other people's opinion or advice in your ear that have tried to sway your career or your finances in a certain way. And I think that often others do mean well when they chime in, you know, or like maybe they're projecting their own fears or experience onto you. The idea here is to not take anything to heart too much and to follow your own internal guidance system. So my question to you guys is there something that's been pulling you to a new path in terms of your career or how you can earn or generate or receive more money? I do feel like this is a confirmation for those of you who took part in the Great Resignation or who like left their old job for something new or different. And for some of you, this is you veering off the beaten path in your career and your finances. So like maybe this is you diving into like the world of entrepreneurship. You know, maybe you're taking a different route than you planned, like working in a completely different field or being part of a startup. You know, the possibilities are endless. I just feel like you're going to be following your heart a lot more in the near future. And then here we have the Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. So when I see the Akasha card, I always think of it as like being on the right path card. So I think that what's to come in your career and your finances is being on the right track. So I do feel like you're going to be taking the steps to build your stability and your financial security. And I think that all of your history and your lessons and, you know, like your experiences to come, that they all are going to happen in divine order. And I do feel like you're about to start like a new chapter in your life. So I do see that whatever it is that you've been desiring, you will be blessed with it if you continue to trust your heart, to follow the steps that your inner guidance system leads you to. And whenever I see this card too, I think of like the whole like you are exactly where you need to be at this moment in time kind of thing. So yeah, take notice of like any signs, symbols, synchronicities. Maybe you see from the universe, you know, even the messages that come through in your dreams. Maybe keep a dream journal. I actually have a really cool one. I will go pull it out for you real quick. I just want to show you. Oops. Okay. And I'll link this in the description too. But this is my Dream Decoder journal, and I love this journal. So the beginning of the journal, it basically like it gives you little instructions on like how to use the journal, and it like kind of tells you like how to use it, but it gives you like these different scenarios of like different dreams. So like being chased, teeth falling out, like and then it gives you these spaces, almost like a bullet journal, that you could like kind of like draw whatever symbolism came through. You can or I don't know what you do on this side, but it says, how would you draw your dream? How would you interpret this dream? Any related memories from the day before? What was the moon phase? That's really cool. Are there any recurring themes? How did it make you feel? Excited, happy, emotional, overwhelmed, confused, worried, frustrated? This is a really cool dream journal. I have yet to fill it up. I filled it up a little bit, but I'm just going to keep it private for those involved in my dreams. And then in the back, this is my favorite part. So this is a dictionary of dreams. So there's like anxiety, and it's like being late, being lost, like, you know, crisis, nature, objects, people, relationships, places, positive experiences. So this is a really awesome dream journal, and you can like, it literally like breaks down the meaning of like different symbolisms in your dreams. So I think that this is so cool, so valuable, so valuable. One of the best things I ever bought. I will link this in the description for you guys. But yeah, let me actually put it over here so that I remember to do that. Okay. But anyway, I got really excited about that. I love dream interpretations. That's how I get a lot of my intuitive messages. And like, I guess like it's weird because a lot of intuitive dreamers, they don't even know they're intuitive dreamers until later on. You're like, oh shit, like those messages coming through in my dreams are like they mean something. And not all of your dreams mean something. Like sometimes literally I'm eating a sandwich in my dreams and that's all that really means because I ate Subway earlier that day. But a lot of the times it's intuitive messages coming through past loved ones and other things. But anyway, yes, keep going. And then we do have the end of a tough cycle approaches. So this says full moon in Capricorn. So when I see this card, I really see that a strong work ethic is coming through here. This is also another confirmation that the end of tough times, and sorry for my squeaky chair. I need to like literally swap my chairs out. We have like an upgraded one and I'm still sitting on my janky, creaky chair because it's still comfortable. So anyway, okay, this is another confirmation that the end of the tough times that you've experienced is near and that better times are on the horizon for you. Those of you who are kind of going back and forth about whether you should stay in a career that isn't really feeling great to you, this is a sign that you might be making plans or taking steps to actually transition and leave that job and go into something else that you enjoy. So for those of you who are already in job roles that you enjoy, maybe the end of a tough cycle in terms of financial security is here. And there's a big boom outside. I think that was a confirmation for y'all. So yes, I do feel like, you know, no matter what your situation looks like currently, I feel like you're going to get a surge of ambitious energy and that you're going to have this like go get 'em attitude. So this is your call to stop fearing the worst, you know, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and pull out all of the stops to make sure that you achieve your dreams. And then we have the Star Ancestor card. So this one says, follow the voice of your soul. So when I see this card, I think about following your purpose. So like we talked about earlier, we can have more than one purpose in our lifetime: to teach, to guide, to parent, to assist, to enlighten, to entertain, to bring joy to. So this is really a good time to ask yourself, what lights you up? What actually feels fun to you? That's kind of how I got into like tarot reading too, is like, what feels fun to me? Well, every time, okay, whenever I had a free chunk of time, I would just be constantly like reading cards, reading myself, getting to know the cards, learning different spreads. So yeah, I just feel like follow what lights you up, because it turns into something beautiful, right? I wouldn't have this channel if I didn't follow like the path of something that actually like excited me or made me smile. So yes. And you know, for those of you who are looking for more support and guidance, sometimes I feel like stargazing brings the most profound insights, and it reminds us that we can always ask the heavenly realms for help and guidance along the journey. So I know that like some of you are like, well girl, what if I can't see the stars from where I'm living? And you know what you can do? You can check out YouTube. They probably have like live stream cams of like the night sky. So, yeah, I do feel like just you can ask your heavenly realms for support. So we are going to dive into your book divination, and today's book divination for your pile is the 4 Agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom, a Toltec wisdom book by Don Miguel Ruiz. So we're going to ask, what do we need to know for our highest good? What additional information does pile 1 need to know? Okay, so the 3rd agreement. So right here we have the third agreement. So this one says, don't make assumptions. So the third agreement is don't make assumptions. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are true. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We could swear they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally. Then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our words. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. Whoa, all the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Interesting. I'm gonna stop there. Also note that I borrowed this book from a lovely dear friend. So, and of course I'm not gonna say who because they highlighted this book. But it's interesting that this is underlined, and I feel like, yeah, you know who I just actually heard? Chloe Taylor. She has a beautiful channel here on YouTube as well. She was saying that she stopped like putting expectations on other people for like how she expected them to like an experience that like she was expecting them to give her. So I think it was like one of her videos when she like ended up playing like a game, like a bunch of online games with like her family, and I think it didn't go the way she thought it was gonna go, something like that. And she was like, oh man, it's because they placed these like expectations on them for how my experience was going to be, and like I told myself not to do that anymore. And I thought, whoa, that's pretty cool. So I think that's interesting that this little book divination talked about not making assumptions and how that actually can probably give us a lot more freedom, inner peace, and simplicity in our life. So thank you so much, Pile 1. I really hope that this reading resonated with you. If you like videos like this, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it out, comment below with anything that resonated with you. Let me know what pile you chose. And yeah, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would love to have you here. And if you want to be the first to see more readings like this, click the notification bell. So thank you. I will see you next time. And yeah, bye, Pile 1. The decks used in today's reading were the Light Seers Tarot, Your Sacred Wealth Code, the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards, the Work Your Light Oracle cards, the Moonology Oracle card deck, and the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. And the books that were shown in today's reading were the Dream Decoder Journal, the Happy Empath's Little Book of Affirmations, the 4 Agreements, and Practicing the Power of Now, Essential Teachings, Meditations, and Exercises from the Power of Now. All of these books and all of these decks will be linked for you in the description of this video. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Amethyst crystal, then you are in the right spot, and let's dive right into your reading. All right, so the first card that we have here is the Queen of Cups. So what's next for you in the career and finance department is that you could be earning money from your creative expressions. And you know, this can be in the traditional form, but it doesn't have to be. Like maybe you can make a profit off of a book you write, you know, a song you sing, a person you teach. You might also find yourself in a more nurturing type of role in your career. So yeah, I feel like this also points to some of you earning money or physical resources from utilizing like your intuitive gifts. Some of you may even consider yourself to be psychic. You know, some of you may be making a shift to focusing your attention on devoting the majority of your time to being a mother or a father or a parent or someone in the position that, you know, needs to care for others in need. And for some of you, I feel like you might find yourself drawn to career roles like teaching and counseling and therapy, maybe coaching, maybe skills training or like healing. I do think that this is going to be a time when you're ruling more from your heart and not from your head. Like you see like her hands are up and she's like, I surrender. She's like kind of like by the divine's will, like things will happen. So, you know, I do feel like this is going to be a time when you're finally like, I just like want to exhale with your pile. So I feel like this is going to be a nice time of like exhale, like release and like relaxing a bit. I do feel like this is going to be a time when you're getting creative with how you earn and generate and receive money through your creativity. I do feel like some of you maybe even like commissioning your creative works for others. And I think that some of you are also even working through allowing others to care for and to nurture and to take care of you. So yeah, just remember, like, you are worthy of an equal energy exchange, for real, for real. And then the next card that we have here is the Star. So when I see the Star, I think of this as the card of good luck and good fortune. So with the Star card, I really think that this is a time of improvement in your financial department. And there is going to be like a lot of happiness and hope on the way in terms of your career and your finances. And I do feel like you're also going to be really creatively inspired and you're going to feel in tune with your intuition. I do feel like you're going to be also feeling really fulfilled at this time on an emotional level. And I feel like this is like your light at the end of the tunnel moment, right? This is like the light at the end of the tunnel after a tough period in your life. And, you know, you've already went through your destruction and the change and the transformation from your Tower moment, right? Previously. If you're not too familiar with the Tower Tarot card, like go Google it. You'll know what I mean now. This is like your Star moment after that. So this is going to feel like a time where the end of your problems are near and a new start is about to begin. So this is going to be a lot of, this time is actually going to feel a lot more happy. It's going to feel a lot more joyous. And I do feel like this is like the I have arrived card, right? You're going to feel like you have arrived in some sense. And some of you may have even, you know, you might be finding yourself stepping into the spotlight or stardom or like fame in terms of your career and your finances. So I do feel like, you know, I do feel like this is going to be a time when you feel like things are harmonious. You're going to feel like you're in flow and you're going to feel really tapped into your life's purpose. And like I said, you can have more than one life purpose. And I like how I said, but I think that was another pile. So if life purpose is something that pops up a lot for you, I would check out pile 1 too. There could be a message for you in there. But yeah, I do feel like whatever you've been wishing for, like just know that you're going to receive it. This is like your wish come true here. And then the next card that we have here is the 10 of Swords. So 10 in numerology always makes me think of the end of a cycle and the start of a new one. So this tells me that you're going to be seeing the end of tough times in your career and your finances, right? This is going to be the end of suffering and sadness for you. And I do feel like if you're going through rough times, it's not going to last, and you know, it won't last long, and you're going to be stepping into a new realm very soon, right? It's like, even though the crows are still kind of hanging over her head, she's walking into the light. She's walking to a new destination. So I do feel like you're going to be tying up some loose ends with a career or a financial matter. Maybe you're going to be letting go of what no longer serves your inner peace and happiness. But I do feel like you're going to be moving forward from a tough or a painful situation in some way. And I do feel like some of you may have felt burnt out by your work. And I do feel like there was like this big movement before to like cut off all the jobs that burnt you out. But I'm also here to let you know that like, well, I'm not here to let you know anything. I feel like you know this, but I just want to point out that even the most fulfilling jobs can burn you out too if you overdo it. So this is your sign to take a rest. And I also feel like for some of you, you might end up like walking away from something that felt like a betrayal to you in the past. So I feel like you finally gained the lessons that you needed to gain, and now you're about to turn a new page. Okay, and then here we have the messenger card, Mercury. So this says, I bring the light of awareness. And some words to describe this like phase of your career or finances are perceptive, progressive, intelligent, adaptable, changeable, psychic, right? Psychic, candid, agile, communicative, insightful, imaginative, curious, and instinctive. So another thing that I feel like that's coming up for you in your career is you stepping into the role of a messenger. So maybe you're going to be writing or singing or doing tarot or healing or mediumship or public speaking. You know, maybe you're going to be teaching or podcasting, like anything as it has to do with language and communication and the mind, and all things that Mercury is associated with. And I also feel like you're going to be delivering like the truth or divine messages or important information to the planet in some way. I do feel like you're going to be waking others up to new levels of consciousness. And I do feel like you're going to be able to deliver messages that people really do need to hear in the divine right timing. And, you know, whether that's counseling someone else or being a shoulder to cry on, this is something that you're truly gifted at. So remember that. And then here we have the Navigating by the Stars card. So this says, follow your bliss. So with this card, I think that you're being asked to follow your heart and what lights you up in your career in your finance department. So ask yourself, you know, what brings me joy? And it doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you. So go ahead, give yourself permission to trust your intuition, trust your gut, trust yourself. Even if you can't see every step on the journey ahead, just know that you're being guided and that you're being asked to trust yourself. And if you feel the call to make a change in your career and your finances, just know that it is safe for you to trust your heart, you know? Follow your own North Star, right? That's the message here. And then the next card that I have here is the Sisterhood of the Rose. So this is beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, and teacher. So another thing that I see coming up next in your career and your finances is a time of more beauty and more harmony. So this might look like, you know, a more fertile time for you, whether quite literally or in the creative way. This is going to be a time when things are in bloom for you. So you might be able to afford to surround yourself with more beautiful things. This could look like beautifying your workspace or maybe getting an upgraded office. Maybe some of you are going to be working from places like cafes that feel good, maybe poolside, you know, maybe coffee shops in nature under the sun. I do feel like this is a sign that you could be using your spiritual gifts in your career department and that, you know, you can indeed earn money from your spiritual gifts. But I do feel like the key here is that you have to first believe that you can earn money from your gifts. So I do feel like this is also a sign for you to spend more time out into nature. So this is what's going to ground you, it's going to give you clarity, and it's going to allow new intuitive insights to flow into you. And then here we have the Nothing Will Come of This card. So this says the Void of Course Moon. So I do feel like when we're transitioning into a new life phase, sometimes we can feel pulled back to go back to old people, old places, old behaviors, old experiences that might feel familiar or that used to be in our comfort zone. you know, especially the ones that are draining to our energy and mental and emotional well-being. So this is your sign to hit the road ahead and, you know, don't look back. I feel like by running back to old things that aren't in our best interest, we end up, you know, continuing to hit our head up against a wall, and it stunts and delays our growth. So this is your sign that something better is coming your way, and it's not going to be found digging through yesterday's energetic drama or garbage. Trust that you're going to close out an old cycle and start up a new one, and that you're actually clearing the way and making room for new, beautiful things to flow into your life. And then here we have the Hunter card. So with this card, I feel like you're going to be moving into a space where you're feeling brave enough to face your fears. This might be a time where you're working through some limiting beliefs. Like, for example, maybe a limiting belief of yours says, you know, I can't make a full-time living working for myself, or maybe who am I to deserve a loving relationship, or maybe another one is like, people will never understand me, right? But I do feel like you're going to dig deep into your beliefs around your money mindset during this time. And when I see this card, I think of it as a reminder to go ahead, hunt down your fears instead of letting them hunt you down. And I do feel like confidence and strength and resilience can be found through going through challenging times and thought processes and, you know, beliefs. So this is kind of that card that's like, tap into your divine masculine energy. And remember, no matter what gender or what you associate yourself with or anything like that, just know that we both have masculine and feminine energy within us. Go ahead and tap into your divine masculine energy. You are strong, you are powerful, and you are capable of achieving everything you desire in your career and your finances. So let's dive into your book divination. Today we have the Happy Empath's Little Book of Affirmations by my girl Stephanie Jameson, and this is mindful mantras for daily self-care. So, okay, we're going to ask what you need to know for your highest good, any other words of wisdom for pile 2. Okay, so this one says, when I live in alignment with what my heart desires, I'm sorry for the dog barking right now. They be going off. Okay. When I live in alignment with what my heart desires, I am fully supported by the universe. When you are true to yourself, have pure intent, and choose love, you will be shocked at the opportunities delivered to you directly from the universe. And yes, I will definitely go ahead. Oh, and you are strong, you are capable, and you are worthy. That message definitely wants to go through to you. So I will link this in the description as well. Thank you so much, pile 2. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to my community, go ahead and subscribe, click the notification bell so that you can be the first one to see these readings, and I will see you next time. Bye, pile 2. The decks used in today's reading were the Light Seers Tarot, Your Sacred Wealth Code, the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards, the Work Your Light Oracle cards, the Moonology Oracle card deck, and the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. And the books that were shown in today's reading were the Dream Decoder Journal, the Happy Empath's Little Book of Affirmations, the 4 Agreements, and Practicing the Power of Now, Essential Teachings, Meditations, and Exercises from the Power of Now. All of these books and all of these decks will be linked for you in the description of this video. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the orange calcite crystal, then you are in the right place, and let's dive right into your reading. Okay, so here we have the 8 of Pentacles. So pile 3. What I'm seeing next in your career and your finances is mastery or accomplishment. So I feel like you've already been, or you're going to be working on skill development or mastering your work or your craft in some way. I do feel like this is going to be a time where you're diligently working hard towards your goals. So maybe you're creating, launching, studying, researching, maybe you're practicing something. I do feel like this is a time where you're going to be working on creating something with quality. So this could be a time where you're working on tuning out the outer world distractions so that you can focus, concentrate, and hone in on your developing your skills and what you're here to create. So when I see this card, the word dedication stands out. So this is the card of being fully immersed in your work. This is going to be a time where you're working towards financial independence, and you may also start to see the results of your hard work and your efforts during this time as well. So I do feel like whatever you're investing your time, your energy, your hard work, and your physical resources in, it's really all going to pay off, and it's really worth your while. Some of you may be receiving promotions, some of you may be advancing into a leadership role, some of you may be going back to school or taking a new course and really diving into your studies, and some of you may be fine-tuning the details of a new business idea that you'd like to put out into the world. So I really do feel like the possibilities are endless here for you. And then our next card is, we have the Knight of Wands. So here with the Knight of Wands, I get the energy that like, okay, if you've been like feeling tired at work or with your finances, don't worry, because with this card, it signals a time of you bursting with energy and motivation and passion, and you're going to be charging ahead with pursuing something in your career and your and your finance department. So I do feel like this is going to be a time when you're working really hard towards making your dreams a reality. I do feel like you're going to be feeling a lot more inspired, bold, and courageous during this time. I really do feel like this is your go for it card, right? I do feel like this is going to be a time of like deep dedication to your passion and creativity, and it might feel like fast moving energy during this time. And I feel like you're going to be enjoying yourself, laughing, having the time of your life during this time as well. And I feel like you're going to be feeling a big rush of enthusiastic energy sweeping in for you during this time. And I also do feel like, you're also going to be a lot more like charming and magnetic to others during this time. So basically, I do feel like you're gonna feel like you can just like take on the world, and it's really going to feel like a good time in your career and your finance department. And then here we have the Seven of Cups. So with the Seven of Cups here, another thing that I'm seeing for your career and your finances is you having a lot more options and choices to choose from. So you might be spending more time doing some soul searching during this time, or searching for your purpose. So I always like to say that we can have more than one purpose in this lifetime. And this is also a time where I do feel like you might be dreaming up all of the possibilities and the outcomes and the opportunities that you have in front of you. So, I think when we have a lot of choices in front of us, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming because we just have so many different things to choose from. And we're not sure which one to go with and where it's all going to lead. So, if you feel like you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all the choices, just know this is normal. It's okay to feel like indecisive. And I just think of this card as like the fantasizing card. So this is super helpful in like the manifestation process. But the key here is that you do have to remember to take action on these ideas, because otherwise they will always be just dreams. So when I think of the best course of action for this card, I think of the phrase, pick a path and go for it. So you can always change your mind, and you aren't stuck, forever to any decision that you make now. So although sometimes it can definitely feel that way, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of us can get caught up in analysis paralysis when we have so many options to choose from. But this is a time where we can hone in on like just that one something that really fills you up and go for it, because we can always make changes later. So, you know, the cups, they have to do with water, right? The suit of cups. So water is adaptable and creative and in flow. So I do feel like those are going to be some themes coming up in your career and your finance department. And then here we have the organizer, Saturn, and it says, everything has its rightful place. So some characteristics to describe this time in your career and finances are patient, practical, truthful, committed, steadfast, orderly, reliable, considerate, consistent, disciplined, systematic, instinctual, careful, detailed, discerning, and rational. So I am seeing that you're going to be feeling a lot more organized in your career and your finances next. And I do feel like you're also going to be bringing like a lot more structure into your career and, you know, like your finance department. So, and I just want to make a disclaimer. If you guys hear like a stomach churning in the background, that is my dog. I am sorry for you. I'm sorry for you guys that you have to hear that. And I'm also sorry for him that he's going through that. He's fine. Sometimes his tummy just gets a little upset. I think we need to look into changing his diet just a little bit. Okay. Anyway, back to this. So with the organizer here, I do feel like you're going to just bring a lot more structure into your career and your work in your finance department. So yeah, you're going to work on creating sustainable systems to create solid things in your business or your work. And I do feel like you have this special knack for understanding that when things are organized and systematized, that we can make room for freedom and simplicity in life. So I feel the energy of you restructuring something in your work or your career or your finances. And I do feel like you're going to be completing a project of some sort next in your career. So you might also be using your natural gift of problem solving to help yourself in some way in your work. So I do feel like you're the kind of person who can like create order out of chaos. So no matter what way that looks, just know that that is a natural ability of yours. And then here we have the Joy and Delight card. So this card says, open your heart to joy. So I also feel like you're going to be feeling a lot more happy and a lot more joyous and a lot more bliss in your career and your finances. This is the card that signals like the end of suffering. So it's really exciting because during this phase, you're going to be following your heart a lot more. And I do feel like you're going to be trusting your gut instincts and your intuition. So this is really going to feel like a time of celebration for you. Make sure that you do carve some time out in your life to enjoy yourself, because life isn't only about reaching the destination, but it's about enjoying the journey as well. So why not have fun along the way? You know that song that's popping into my mind right now? It's that Young, Wild, and Free song by Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg. Look it up if you haven't heard it. But yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know, just living young, wild, and free. The vibe. Okay, so I do feel like this is going to be a time filled with feelings of like pure ecstasy. I do feel like your cup is going to be full of love and it's going to feel like it's runneth over, right? So be sure to go ahead and share your love with, you know, those around you. And this is also your call to follow your path of your bliss. So don't be afraid, because joy, happiness, abundance, and love, they're all your birthright, and it's okay to own it. Okay, the next card we have here is the Age of Light. So this one says, you've been training for this for lifetimes. So every so often, the planet goes through like some huge radical shifts and transformation. And right now, we're seeing like that big Age of Aquarius movement where old structures are being questioned and shady institutions are crumbling down and people are, you know, starting to be held accountable for their actions, you know, at least a little bit more. But this is your sign that like you were born and incarnated at this time of change for a reason. And you know, this is like big time light worker energy right here. So I don't know if you've ever noticed that people are changed after they speak to you. Like, I do feel like you have this natural ability to help people wake up in consciousness and wake up to their personal truths. And you know, whether you feel prepared for this path or not, I do believe that you have everything within you that you need to feel successful on this path. And I do feel like you're so much more than just your age and your gender and your socioeconomic status or your job title. And you know, there's just so much more to you as a person. So this is a call for some of you to let your gifts be seen. Don't shy away from sharing your talents with the world. And you'd honestly be pleasantly surprised to see who you're actually impacting at the end of the day. You know, even if it's just one person out there whose life you're making a difference on, that is what really matters. Okay, and then it says, we have the Expect Powerful Change card, so the new moon eclipse. So I think that this card is really special because at this time of recording, we just experienced the new moon eclipse in Taurus. So, you know, I feel like even though, like, okay, say you don't watch this reading during the new moon eclipse in Taurus time, it's just this signal that like whatever that you've been hoping, dreaming, praying, and wishing for, just know that it is a big yes. So what's next in your career and your finances is a powerful new start or beginning for you. So this energy is swift, it's powerful, and it's strong. So really go ahead and make sure you prepare yourself to ground yourself a lot more. You know, remember to take your strolls down the street. Take deep breaths. Make yourself some tea. I just feel like this change, like, okay, I can feel it in my palms, like they're getting sweaty, like, just because, like, powerful change, right? Okay, anyway, if that's weird, just disregard it. But anyway, this is a new gateway or like a portal for you. So take advantage of it, you know? You are going to be getting into more alignment with your life's purpose, and everything that's changing right now is happening for you. You know, not to you, right? Things are happening for you, not to you. And that's one helpful like frame of mind to help navigate change. And this is really a sign to like not be afraid, you know? There's nothing to fear and really just everything to be excited about. And then here we have the Oracle card. So it says, wait for important information. So I feel like because you're going to have so many options to choose from, it's important to take a pause before making any swift decisions. So really this is your sign that you are indeed intuitive and able to receive accurate insights from the universe. And I think that it's easy for some of us to want to deny our intuitive gifts and abilities because we're afraid of what others might think of us. And this card is actually related to the Oracle of Delphi. So Oracle of Delphi or Oracle of Delphi. So the Oracle of Delphi or Delphi is Pythia, so the priestess of Apollo. And this was actually a psychic priestess of ancient Greece, and people from all over came to hear her and her predictions and her insights. So really the key here with this card is that you have the natural ability to gather facts, intuit things, receive information, you know, even the kind that's not seen to the eyes. So you do have the ability to like make predictions. So the deeper message here is to look deeper into the things that you know, that you might be considering to go ahead with, maybe make a commitment to, because there are always things that we can't see like right in this moment. So it's almost like that, like, allow, if you have all these options, really kind of take your time, because you can allow things to like naturally unfold as they do over time. Like, let the facts reveal themselves over time, right? Get more information, take notes, you know? I feel like the answers will always be revealed, and that's something that we can find comfort in when we're in a place on the path that is hard to see the road ahead. So let's go ahead and dive into your book divination. Your book divination is Practicing the Power of Now, Essential Teachings, Meditations, and Exercises from the Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Okay, what would be some helpful information for pile 3 to know? Back page. Okay, so I feel like reading this paragraph here. Okay. Stay in this realm of pure being for as long as feels comfortable. Then become aware again of the physical body, your breathing and physical senses, and open your eyes. Look at your surroundings for a few minutes in a meditative way. That is, without labeling them mentally, and continue to feel the inner body as you do so. So, you know what? I do feel like this is actually like your sign to go ahead and take your meditation practice a little bit deeper. You know, some people have went ahead and like dived into breath work. Make sure that you're in the right health position to do that. But this is making me think that with like all this like psychic intuition vibes here, that meditation is really going to help you strengthen your abilities. And I think that you know, the message that's coming through is that go ahead and like make sure that you're gathering all your information that you need to gather about all the opportunities coming up, and really use your intuition, meditate, and take your time. So thank you so much, pile 3. I hope that this reading resonated with you. If you enjoyed today's reading, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the community, I would love to have you here. So please hit the subscribe button and click the post notification bell if you'd like to be the first in line to see more readings like this. So thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye, pile 3. The decks used in today's reading were the Light Seer's Tarot, Your Sacred Wealth Code, the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards, the Work Your Light Oracle cards, the Moonology Oracle card deck, and the Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. And the books that were shown in today's reading were the Dream Decoder Journal, the Happy Empath's Little Book of Affirmations, the 4 Agreements, and Practicing the Power of Now, Essential Teachings, Meditations, and Exercises from the Power of Now. All of these books and all of these decks will be linked for you in the description of this video. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye.